You think you are in control of your life. You think every decision you make, the job you take, the person you marry, the money you spend, is based on logic and reason. You are wrong. You are living in a psychological prison constructed by your own subconscious mind. Every single day your brain is lying to you, filtering reality and sabotaging your future to keep you safe, small, and predictable. You are not making logical decisions. You are reacting to invisible biases that were hardwired into your DNA thousands of years ago. While you believe you are moving forward, these silent enemies are pulling you back into the shadows of failure. If you do not learn to identify these cognitive traps, you will spend your entire life working for people who have mastered them. You are being played by your own mind. This is the ultimate realization of the elite. If you are ready to stop being a victim of your own biological programming and start seeing reality with cold, lethal clarity, then stay exactly where you are. This video is not just information. It is the key to your mental liberation. The first and most dangerous bias is the status quo bias. Your brain hates change. It views any new path, any big risk, or any radical shift in identity as a direct threat to your survival. This is why you stay in a job you hate. This is why you stay in toxic relationships. This is why you keep the same mediocre habits year after year. Your brain is telling you that the known hell is safer than the unknown heaven. Your biology is programmed for survival, not for greatness. Greatness requires the destruction of the current self, and your brain will fight that destruction with every chemical signal it has. The legendary investor and thinker-writer Charlie Munger called this the psychological misjudgment. He understood that humans have a powerful tendency to stay the same even when the world is screaming for them to change. Writer Charlie Munger taught that to be successful, you must learn to destroy your own best-loved ideas every single year. If you cannot change your mind, you cannot change anything. You are anchored to your past because your past is safe. But the elite know that safety is the ultimate trap. Writers write, most people do not want the truth, they want comfort. But comfort is the graveyard of the elite. If you are feeling comfortable right now, you are already dying. It is this ability to kill the need for comfort that defines the people who watch this channel. You are not here for entertainment. You are here for transformation. We are on a relentless mission to build a community of 100,000 elite minds. We are gathering 100,000 soldiers of logic who are brave enough to face their own internal demons and dismantle the biases that keep the masses poor and weak. This 100,000 mission is not a suggestion, it is a movement. If you are ready to contribute to this 100,000 goal and finally take the blindfold off your eyes, hit that subscribe button right now. Do not just exist. Join the elite reality. The second trap is confirmation bias. This is the silent enemy that keeps you ignorant. Your brain naturally seeks out information that agrees with what you already believe and ignores anything that challenges you. This creates a mental echo chamber. If you think money is hard to make, your brain will only see obstacles. If you think people are untrustworthy, your brain will only see betrayal. You are not seeing the world as it is. You are seeing the world as you are. This bias makes you feel right, but it keeps you wrong. It gives you the illusion of knowledge while starving you of the truth. The Nobel Prize-winning psychologist-writer Daniel Kahneman, in his work Thinking Fast and Slow, explains that our brains are lazy. Writer Daniel Kahneman proves that we use System 1 thinking, fast, emotional, and biased, 95% of the time. We only use System 2, slow, logical, and analytical, when we are forced to. System 1 is the default mode of the slave. System 2 is the operational mode of the master. The masses live their entire lives in System 1. They react, they assume, and they fail. The elite train themselves to activate System 2. They look for evidence that proves them wrong. They seek out their enemies' perspectives to find the truth. They do not want to be right. They want to win. Writers write, The man who only listens to people who agree with him is a man who has decided to stop growing. Truth does not care about your feelings. Like this video right now if you are brave enough to seek the truth, even when it hurts. The third pillar is loss aversion. This is why the poor stay poor and the rich get richer. Psychologically, the pain of losing $100 is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining $100. Because of this, most people play life not to lose instead of playing to win. They are so afraid of a small failure that they miss out on massive opportunities. They focus on what they might lose instead of what they could become. This bias paralyzes your potential. It makes you value what you have more than what you could build. The great Stoic philosopher-writer Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Writer Marcus Aurelius understood that fear is just a projection of a biased mind. He knew that the only real loss is the loss of character and the loss of time. The elite do not fear loss because they know that every loss is a tuition fee for a greater victory. They have rewired their brains to value growth over safety. They understand that in a world that is constantly changing, the biggest risk is taking no risk at all. Writers write, "If you are not willing to lose everything, you do not deserve to win anything. Security is an illusion sold to the 99% to keep them obedient." Share this video with one person who is currently playing it too safe and needs a wake-up call. The fourth trap is survivorship bias. This is when you look at the one person who succeeded and ignore the thousands who failed doing the same thing. It makes you think there is a magic pill or a secret shortcut. It blinds you to the brutal work and the specific variables required for success. You see the billionaire who dropped out of college, but you do not see the millions of dropouts who are struggling to pay rent. People see the winner and try to copy their lifestyle, but they do not copy their discipline, their sacrifice, or their mental toughness. The strategist writer Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War that if you know yourself and you know your enemy, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Writer Sun Tzu teaches us that self-awareness is the ultimate weapon. To avoid survivorship bias, you must look at the failures. You must study the shipwrecks to know where the rocks are hidden. The elite do not follow trends, they study systems. They do not look for shortcuts, they build foundations. They analyze the data that others ignore. They understand that success leaves clues, but failure leaves warnings. Writers write, "Success is not about doing what the winner did. It is about avoiding the mistakes that the losers made." Comment: I see the trap if you are done looking for shortcuts and ready to build a real foundation. The fifth trap is the anchoring bias. This is how the world manipulates your perception of value. Your brain relies too heavily on the first piece of information it receives. If someone tells you a problem is impossible, your brain anchors to that impossibility. If someone tells you that you are only worth a certain salary, you anchor to that number. This is how negotiators, marketers, and manipulators control your mind. They set the first number, the first idea, or the first limit, and your brain subconsciously works around it. The elite anchor themselves to their own potential, not the limitations of others. You must learn to reset your internal anchors every day. You must refuse to let the first impression or the first offer define your reality. You must become the one who sets the frame of every interaction. Writers write, "He who sets the anchor sets the terms." Do not let the world set the anchor for you. The sixth trap is the halo effect. This is where you assume that because someone is good at one thing, they are good at everything. You see a successful athlete, and you take their financial advice. You see a beautiful person, and you assume they are intelligent and kind. This bias blinds you to the reality of human character. It allows people with one strong trait to manipulate you in areas where they have no expertise. The elite judge every trait in isolation. They do not let a person's charm blind them to their lack of competence. They do not let a person's status blind them to their lack of integrity. Writers write, "Do not let the glitter of a single virtue blind you to a mountain of hidden vices." The seventh trap is the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is the bias where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. The less you know, the more confident you are. This is why the world is full of confident idiots and hesitant geniuses. If you think you have already mastered human behavior, you are likely a victim of this bias. The elite remain perpetual students. They know that the more they learn, the more they realize how little they actually know. They keep their ego in check so that their knowledge can keep growing. Writers write, "Confidence is often the child of ignorance. Real power is born in the humility of the student." The eighth trap is the sunk cost fallacy. This is the bias that makes you continue an endeavor simply because you have already invested resources in it, even if the current costs outweigh the future benefits. You stay in the wrong career because you spent 4 years in university. You stay in a failing business because you already spent your life savings. You are throwing good money after bad and good time after bad. The elite know how to cut their losses. They do not care about what they have already spent. They only care about the future value of their next move. If the ship is sinking, they jump. They do not drown out of loyalty to their past mistakes. Writers write, "Your past investment is gone. Do not let it steal your future as well." To break these 8 biases, you must implement the critical audit protocol. Starting today, every time you feel a strong emotion about a decision, you must stop. Ask yourself, am I choosing this because it is the best path, or am I choosing it because I am afraid of change? Ask yourself, what evidence do I have that proves I am wrong? Ask yourself, am I anchored to someone else's definition of my value? Force your brain to argue against itself. This is the most painful mental exercise you will ever do, but it is the only way to develop a mind that is truly free from the chains of biological bias. This was video 21. You have just been given a map to the prison of your own mind. Most people will watch this, feel a little smarter, and then go right back to their biased, comfortable lives. They will remain puppets, unaware of the strings being pulled by their own subconscious. But you are different. You are here for the 100,000 mission. You are here to become the architect of your own reality. Knowledge without execution is just a more expensive form of failure. Like this video right now to signal your commitment to logic over emotion. Subscribe to ensure you never miss a step in your evolution to the 1%. Share this to the brothers who are still trapped in the echo chamber of their own biases.